and welcome to Sci-Futures podcast, the podcast that imagines sci-fi futures. Yes, we talk about a different sci-fi film every week, and we just imagine what it would be like to live in that film. So, my name is Wee Claire. I am your ever faithful host, and as always, I have our ever faithful co-host. It's Mr. Rupert Booth. Yay!
Hello. Hello. Do I have to be ever faithful now? That wasn't spelled out in the initial contract.
Yes, you
Hang
are.
on.
You are.
Are you pulling clauses on me?
Clause ever faithful. Yes, you turn up here at 5:30 p.m. every Wednesday. In
all fairness, I've been good so far. Let's face it.
Because yeah, exactly. Like technical problems permitting. So.
Yeah, indeed. I can't be held responsible for that. I didn't invent the technology.
No. Like technology has not been our friend, but we've managed to make it work somehow during this podcast. So I'm like, oh. So Rupert, it's been 7 days.
Yeah.
Since we last spoke. What have you been up to for the last 7 days that you can?
Well, I've been working away on a thing for 3.5 weeks. Maybe is it a bit longer? I can't remember. About which maybe a bit more later. But yeah, basically we're gonna try and do an FMV in lockdown.
Guys, you're hearing little bits of this first.
Yeah,
yes.
we're just nailing the script now. Funnily enough, after this, I'm going to have a Zoom meeting with the little production team, and we're just going to finally nail it all down and go, right then, we're doing this, and then we're going to do that. All be shot on phones, obviously, all distance and stuff like that. It might not work, but we're going to have a go.
Guys, I want the hype in the chat. Are you excited for the lockdown FMV? There's nothing, we can't say anything more about it right now.
No,
we'll have more.
Obviously not going to give any story away or anything like that. Apart from it's got a few familiar faces in it. One of them's this, obviously. And Anna Rose is in it as well. I think I can say that.
Yes.
And it'll be happening before too long, because obviously this is going to be a different sort of thing to the way a normal FMV is put together.
Yeah.
So this is going to be keep watching. I nearly said keep watching the skies, but that's Dark Side of the Moon. So I can't say that. Keep watching the internet. Actually, keep watching the relevant pages on the internet that will update you with information. That's the best possible trailer I can give.
You know what? I'm the marketing person here, so I'm going to say this. Guys, so I'd like to direct your eyes to the screen. It's Rupert Booth on Twitter for the latest updates on the lockdown FMV. See, that's
Absolutely.
How it's done, Rupert. That's how it's done.
And that's precisely why you're the marketing. and why I'm not. I'm the authenticity.
Oh, what are you saying? Oh.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, he's gonna give himself. Hey, I got the power. I could press the red button right now. Right. I mean,
funny enough, that's like something in the game. Ooh.
Oh. Although if I did do that, it would just be me chatting to nothing.
yeah, true.
So I think I won't do that. It's fine. So
thank you,
guys.
I am reprieved.
Right after that bit of cheek, Rupert.
It's what you keep me around for, you know it.
Gotta keep him in line though, folks. I was saying to Rupert earlier, we were talking about star signs, and I said, you know what they say about Libras? Libras are the iron fist. That's me, iron fist in a velvet glove. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a bit of that. I'll give you.
Aquarians are the floating cloud of concept and thought. You can't punch a cloud.
I can contain it in a glass cage.
Yes, good. Yes, no. That's okay. Yeah, fine. Damn.
You can't punch a cloud. Just imagine.
I'll get back to you. You can't punch a cloud. It'd be great if you could punch a cloud. Imagine just having the money to charter a helicopter so you can go up and just go, you have massive miasma. I'll have you, mate. Right on the cumulonimbus.
Right on the cumulonimbus. Yeah. Right in the cumulonimbus. Right.
Where it hurts. Yeah.
Right where it hurts. Okay, guys. Let's.
It's quite a serious film today as well, isn't it? It's quite there's concepts and discussions to be had. We should get onto that, shouldn't we?
Oh my God, yes, we should. Right, guys, we're gonna reveal the film that we're talking about. I did reveal it on Twitter earlier on. So it is The Day the Earth Stood Still, 1951. 1951. Yes.
The only one of the two that matters.
So yes, because When was the remake made? It was like I didn't even look in.
2008.
Oh my
I
god.
I managed about the first half an hour, but I don't know. The Daily Earth still is one of those films to me of kind of no, leave it. It's that. That's the version. That's the story. Tell a different story now.
It was a surprise. I don't know. I think it was Jennifer Connelly and Keanu Reeves, wasn't it
Yeah.
as well? Yeah,
Oh, oh, fine. You know,
they're
not wrong with
fine.
them.
No, you know,
Um,
I love Keanu Reeves to bits, but
I do.
not that kind of film. Just not in that kind of film. Not in that
I,
kind of.
I, I quite like Jennifer Connelly as well. I've got to confess.
She's lovely, you know, and she's amazing and a very very good
Yeah,
actress. But
yeah.
no, not in that film. Nikki Drink
Yeah.
says even Keanu couldn't save that. No.
No, some remakes there's a difference of opinion on. You know, I've never really heard a massive difference of opinion on the Day the Earth Stood Still remake. Everyone just kind of goes,
No,
nah.
no, I don't even. Honestly, it was awful. It was awful. But the
Yeah.
day the Earth stood still, and I watched this many moons ago with my
Mm-hmm.
mum, who loves old sci-fi,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I hadn't watched it literally since. So maybe I'm talking about 30+ years now. And then I watched it 2 days ago, and I was like, God, this film is good.
Isn't it? I watched it about 2 years ago, and but yet I came to it again, going, God, this film's good.
Yes, it's so good, and I mean,
Yeah,
if you get past the 1950s-ness of it, actually the
yeah.
message is very very good. So to give you a rundown of what the film is about, you guys, in case you don't know, you should know already. And if I'm just issuing a spoiler alert now, but you should have seen it already. So essentially, one day out of the blue, a UFO comes down and lands. It's in the middle of Washington. Is that correct,
Mm.
Rupert?
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
So it lands in the middle of Washington, and the doors open, and a man, or something resembling a man, walks out wearing a sort of silver suit. It's very 50s. And he comes with a message. Now, before he even gets to say that message, a jittery handed soldier shoots him. So he already gets shot. And then you see this other being come out of the spaceship called Gort. So the man is called Klaatu, and the being is called Gort. And they've come with a message for Earth, because Earth are about or have discovered nuclear energy and nuclear weapons, and they're saying, look, we all live in peace. You know, we're all living in peace, and we just want you to live in peace. You know, you've got great power now, and this power is important. So basically, don't fuck it up. That's what they're telling us to do.
Well, they're kind of a little bit more aggressive than that, I'd say. It's kind of like, yeah, we want you to live in peace, because if you don't, then hey, guess what? We're going to annihilate the planet.
Yeah. Oh, and they get very aggressive with that at the end.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him after what he's been put through. But still, it's a bit kind of all right, Klaatu.
I don't know them either. And Klaatu ends up. So he goes to they fix his wound. He's you know, he ends up befriending a young boy and his family. And
It's not like that.
What was that?
It's not like that.
It's not like what?
Oh, when you said befriending a young boy, I thought kind of like,
Oh,
God,
right. Sorry. I was
just,
like, wait a minute.
isn't it strange how nowadays you just kind of think that? You're kind of like, oh, you know,
See, yeah, you're
this
actually.
middle-aged man befriends a young boy, and it's of course it's completely innocent.
You can't
but
do
just,
that nowadays. I guess you're right. You have to.
You
kind of
wouldn't.
have...
Well, if you were doing a remake now, if I was doing a remake, if I was given the original script and someone said modernize it, then I would have the mother raising a lot more concerns about, you know, this stranger taking her lad out for a trip around America for Washington for a day.
It's shit that we live in that kind of world now. But
Isn't it?
Back in
Isn't it?
1951, it's just like it's this like guy sort of, you know, hanging out with this wee boy and. You know, and kind of like discovering what it means to be human, or like, you know, not what it means to be human, but just basically hanging out with the human race. You know, well,
yeah. And very much that very positive thing of you know, the young lad's inquisitive and intelligence and so on, and Klaatu's pleased to be able to kind of go, yeah, okay, open your mind in this direction, maybe think about this sort of concept.
Yes.
That's lovely. That's nice. That's positive.
And Cactus Nax has asked a question for the whole chat, but I think we should answer it as well. Thank you, Cactus. Would you shoot first or wait to see if the stranger in a ship is peaceful? What would you do?
Well, so when I was watching earlier, I've always thought this. He doesn't help himself, does Klaatu? When he comes out and he goes, hey, peace, everyone. And they're all kind of like, oh, all right, you know, in their tanks. And he wanders down and he brings out this thing that could be a gun. It's a handheld thingy. And it suddenly goes like that. And, you know, you might... I, in that position, might be kind of like, shit, what's that? Ah, it's just gone. If he'd actually said, this is a device for your president. With it, he can map the stars, then made it go, then he wouldn't have got shot.
That's true. He just brings out this device and he kind of gets shot by a jittery-handed military
Yeah.
guy.
I think you should be a bit more careful about that, sort of just to put the thing on the ground and go, look, this is a gift. I bring you a gift. Stand back from it.
Yeah,
Rather
like
than
just
brandish
raise
it
your
at them.
hand. Exactly,
Yeah,
raise your hands and then get your. But because he puts his hand in his pocket or something, doesn't he? And
yeah.
that's when they shoot him.
They're
But
kind
like,
of, yeah.
it's
Oh
kind
no,
of.
no, wait! He activates the device and it springs out like that, and it could be a gun, it could be a weapon.
And
Um,
it's very us as well because it's like, oh, we just
hmm,
ruined our chances at getting a really amazing gift. There you go.
totally, totally. Yeah, I've just broken your thing. Thanks,
Yeah,
thanks.
so you can't
That
have it now. You
yeah.
and this is
Can't have nice
why.
things as a
Yeah,
species.
exactly. See, everything you can't have nice things. Think about everything we've gone through, even in the last 6 months, Brexit and the rest. We can't have nice things. We can't.
No,
We just
no,
can't. That's it.
apparently
So,
not.
what do you think's gonna happen if an alien comes down? Like, Trump and Johnson and everything and Putin, they're gonna shoot. Like, that's what's gonna happen, I reckon.
I really hope that those three little words are kept quietly to themselves, and Gort goes on a rampage.
Yeah, rampaging Gort.
In certain, as long as he rampages in the right direction, but I think Klaatu and his lot will be intelligent enough to make him rampage in the right direction.
And let's go back to, so thank you, Cactus, for that, for us actually asking that question. Now, most people are saying wait, but when you saw this film, how old were you when you were younger? Like, what were your first impressions?
Right, so it was during that glorious season in 1981 or in 82 of science fiction films that a lot of the films that I'll talk about and I'll bring into on this I saw in that season. And I was very impressed by it. It was, so what, 10? It was a little too slow and talky for me. Compared to things like Forbidden Planet,
Yeah.
which is equally high concept and intelligent, but it's more sort of pizzazzy, and things like This Island Earth and the crap ones as well. The funny crap ones were all entertaining. This one, but it stayed with me, and I kept thinking about it for a long time afterwards, and started reading about it in magazines, the making of it, and realised this is one of the big ones. This is one of the ones that everyone talks about. I can't remember when I saw it the second time. It would have been on telly again. But I was older. I was my late teens by that point, I think, and able to take it in much more effectively, and very much went, oh yeah, this is great. This is struck at the time as I was watching it just before about how underplayed the entire thing is. It's underwritten. It's underacted. It's not an action fest in any way. It's a character piece. It's a small piece, kind of like last week's film in that way.
Yes.
It's actually quite realistic. Once you get past the 50s-ness,
Yes.
the characters, none of the actors are really overplaying it. Certainly not Patricia Neal and Michael Rennie. They're very down to earth and speaking matter of factly. There's no histrionics. There's none of the big stuff.
No.
It's all quite realistic.
Yes.
Polite post-war early 50s Americans.
I think it's a really intelligent, well-made film. I mean,
It is.
obviously, with the effects and things like that. Yeah, okay, like it's 50s-ish, but I think it looks good. And
I mean, the effects for the time were stunning. I think
very
they're still.
stunning.
I still like them today. The practical effect of the ship that opens up, that's a magnificent bit of set building.
Oh,
For a
absolutely.
start.
I think they did really well with it. Of
Yeah.
course, the costumes, the concept of the costumes is very 50s, but
Yeah.
I love it. And I was thinking when he comes out in that like silver jumpsuit, I was thinking I actually own a silver jumpsuit just like that, and would rock
you
that
also-
now.
Do you also own an 8-foot silver robot?
That's something I need to acquire, and unfortunately, they don't sell that in vintage shops. That's something.
No,
I
no,
can't
fair
find.
enough, fair enough.
Can't
You see,
find.
when you get to that whole 50s design ethic, and this film in a way sets the tone. When you get inside his ship, that's beautiful, isn't it? And it's a nice bit of perspex going on in there. There's some nice perspex. I like a bit of 50s science fiction perspex, me. And Day of the Earth still has some of the finest perspex. But yeah, the whole sort of design ethic of it. No, I've lost my thread completely. I was going somewhere and I got waylaid by perspex. This often happens in my life.
Lovely single ladies in the chat. If you wanna find a way to Rupert's heart, then get some perspex.
Just bring me a bit of perspex. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you bring me a bit of perspex.
I just
We'll
really,
talk.
I just want a
And,
lot of.
allow me to fashion a thing out of it that could enable you to see into distant planets.
I want this new thing to happen. Perspex selfies, just people behind a bit of perspex selfie for you, Rupert. A selfie, perspex selfie. You can judge them. Like yes, no, no, no,
Have I got any?
yes.
After failing on the Angel Delight challenge, I just want to know before we sign up to this. I just want to know that I've got some perspex around. I do actually have a tiny piece of perspex that I can access.
Really.
It's on a teleport bracelet, so that would be a double whammy.
So So wait a minute. So you've got perspex, but you couldn't find Angel Delight. Okay.
I
So,
happen to have a bit of perspex. No, no, wait a minute. Just stay there.
oh, guys.
I've got to prove this.
Hey, we're getting some perspex. We're getting some. If perspex is your thing, go
Look,
twitter.com.
okay, this is why I have a bit of perspex, all right?
Right,
That's
okay.
a bit of perspex,
Okay.
right? On a teleport bracelet from Blake 7 that I happen to have. You don't throw away teleport bracelets from Blake 7, therefore I have perspex. Do not mock me.
No mocking. Hey, I'm trying to set you up with a lovely lady who also shares your
With a
interests.
perspex fetish, that's very true. Yeah, I'm all for that. Right.
I'm telling you, I am the Scylla of Twitch. I will be the
We'll
Scylla of Twitch.
we'll make beautiful Orax together.
I love it.
That's another Blake 7 reference. Sorry.
Right. Okay.
The Earth stood still.
Right. Let's get back. Like, hey, we've not even mentioned the cave. We've not even mentioned that
Not
yet.
yet. No.
Oh, maybe the cave door could be made out of perspex.
Then everyone can see in.
Oh, that's right. We need some kind of perspex. Some kind of
Well,
perspex.
you can get tinted perspex. You can get opaque perspex. So this is why you guys tune in, isn't it, for perspex related discussion?
Guys, you come in for the top content. Yes, this is Sci-Futures with Rupert and Claire.
Is it content or is it non-tent? Who knows?
Here for all your perspex and cave FMV ramble.
Absolutely. One of these days we'll combine them beautifully into a perspex cave, and then that's it. I'm done.
Telling you, like, hey, perspex cave FMV. This is what it's all about.
Perspex. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
right, back to the movie. Right, back to the movie. So, basically, what I got from the film watching it this time around, because when I was younger, I thought I was very small, and I just thought it was a bit boring and very talky, and there was a robot. This time around, I picked up there's a tenseness. I love the music, and there's a mystery to it all because you don't really know what Klaatu's about. He doesn't really go into great detail, and then occasionally like drops the odd kind of science bomb and goes, "Hey, here's a formula for you. This'll help you." You don't know what gore is. I mean, you don't really know anything, but you don't really. I don't really ask anything of it this time. What do you think about all of that? The tenseness.
I agree with all that. It's such a piece of atmosphere which is all beautifully laid out by the black and white cinematography. This film wouldn't work in colour for me. This needs black and white.
Yes.
It's almost written for it. It's I suppose at the end of the day, it is, there's only two or three characters that really matter. There's Patricia Neal, obviously, the good side of humanity, the one who uses her brain. It's what a good representation for women, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, because she's actually got a part, whereas
she's not histrionic. The only time she screams is when Gort's about to pick her up. I'd scream.
I mean, come on, it's a giant, cycloptic robot.
Yeah, and Gort. We'll talk about. Obviously, Gort's a big thing, literally in it. But yeah, but she is intelligent. She is quiet. She is thoughtful. She thinks before opening her mouth.
Yes.
She isn't used as a device. As a mother, she doesn't get histrionic about protecting her child. I mean, I took the piss about that slightly earlier, but sometimes mother characters are used in that way. She isn't. She's portrayed very realistically, and I love the fact that she has the balls, as it were, to stand up to the man she's going to marry when he's suddenly going, "Hey, I'm going to make money out of this Klaatu thing." She goes, so he says something like, "You're going to marry a rich man," and she goes, "I'm not going to marry anyone," and just walks out and leaves him, and that's it.
She comes across very strong.
Good for you.
She's quite steely sometimes, very strong.
But without all the trappings that seem to come a lot these days of a strong woman being feisty.
No, she's definitely feminine but strong.
Yeah.
I think it's very hard to even get that nowadays. Even to have a feminine and strong character without.
It was calm,
Yeah,
calm
exactly.
and rational.
Exactly.
I think feisty sometimes with female characters, I would just go, oh, bloody irritating, really bloody irritating. Just give it a rest for 5 seconds with your feist.
Yes, yeah, I think.
If you do something like that in real life, you just wouldn't. You'd be too much feist.
Well, I think too much feist.
Too much. You feisted out.
Hey, like I've got friends who
don't misspell that.
I've got no, please don't. I've got female friends who I would consider feisty, right?
Oh, me too, absolutely.
But there is an inner calm and an inner peace, and they are much more well-rounded. And I think it's bad writing to make just someone overly feisty, because
I think it's cheap.
Feisty people aren't just fiery and outspoken. There's a lot more to them than that. They have feelings, they have thoughts, they have there's a depth. We're human. And it's about good writing. I think Michael Renée as Klaatu is great.
Isn't he marvellous? Isn't he fantastic?
Yep, he pulls in a very interesting and controlled performance. And even at the end, when you see it, when he's giving his, right, we're going to F you guys up, basically, if you don't learn. He's still very controlled, very in control of the situation, and says it in a way that's very commanding. He's a good presence. There's a point that I thought was very pertinent in the film, which I think is pertinent to today. Michael Rennie's character Klaatu and the little boy are standing in the crowd looking on at the UFO, and there's a press person comes up to them. He goes, Are you scared of the aliens? Something like that. And Klaatu goes, well, no, I'm actually scared about unsubstantiated fear. That's what scares me. And the press guy...
And the guy goes,
okay, next. And
no, thanks, don't want that. That's not...
that's not going to sell papers. That's not selling...
I thought exactly the same thing. I sat back and thought, wow, nothing's changed at all.
Nothing's changed
in that one, And that was. There are loads of moments like this in this film which are very deft, and they don't dwell on. They just keep it like simply, when they're looking at the memorial, and Klaatu reads and says, "Those are great words. He must have been a great man."
Yes.
And nothing else. Don't go on about George Washington or the history of America. It's just that's it, and they walk off. The whole film is incredibly reductive, and so much better for it.
Well, this is the problem I have with sci-fi now. That explains, that over-explains. So I'll give you an example. Christopher Nolan's, what was that one with the guys in a library? Chat, please let me know what it is. He's in a library and he goes through time or some shit like that. Anyway, in this Christopher Nolan film that everybody seemed to love, and I loved it when I watched in the cinema because I thought it looked beautiful and the sound was really great. There's this explanation at the end as we see all the events unfold, and it's almost like I'm like, okay, so I'm not thinking for myself, and it's not making any grand points. You're just telling me everything.
Yeah.
Interstellar, that was it.
Yes, right.
Thank you very much, people. And Interstellar, when you see it once, you're like, yeah, but it's. There was something soulless and missing from me, but
superficial, maybe
a little superficial. When I watch films like this, I'm like, wow, okay, I got to consider the time period as well.
Yeah.
But actually, they're saying things about the media and making points about hysteria, and points that are still true today. Again, like you said, when you don't dwell on something and you just drop it in, it gives the viewer time to think.
Yeah.
And so you're essentially going, and so that stayed with me, like it stayed with you there. You're like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. It wasn't like Klaatu then had a big monologue about, like fear and population. No. It was just like, oh no, that's it. I also
love Klaatu's impatience. Very soon in the hospital, he realizes he's not going to get anywhere by talking to military types, so he escapes.
Yeah.
He just goes and goes, okay, I'll have to find out who's got a brain on this planet then. If they all won't come together, if their squabbles are too much, I don't have time for this shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Annihilation is coming for them, and so he's very kind of businessman-like about it. He goes off, he gets into the place and integrates into this little human community, and the kid and all that sort of bit. And then it's right straight to the professor. Let's go and find the cleverest man on the planet. Right, he's the one then. He's going to listen, which indeed he does. It's so rational.
Yes.
It's very much about the triumph of rationality over emotional-based decision-making.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that I think is maybe an interesting and telling point coming after a decade that had been dominated by the Second World War.
Yes, and I think it's
Um,
very as when you think about things now, even as well, when you have these right-wing populist
oh yeah,
showboating
oh yeah,
men in charge that
absolutely.
are so the opposite of rationality. And yes, you're
And
right about the Cold War as well.
and scapegoating.
Yes,
It's their fault. Whoever they make, the othering thing.
absolutely,
It's othering and then blame casting.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's
And rationality speaks against that. Rationality speaks of find out about a person before you judge them.
exactly. Well, going back to the design for the spacecraft, even because I
Mm.
forgot to mention this earlier, the design for the spacecraft was a collaboration with Frank Lloyd Wright,
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah.
which was and it looks. I was thinking that before I read this fact, I was looking at the way the spaceship lands and then takes off. It looks amazing. Like
Mm.
it looks so good. And Locke Martin, who played Gort, was
Mm.
actually 7'7" tall in real
Yeah.
life. And he was an usher at the Grauman's Chinese Theatre.
Hmm.
So, because I thought it was just maybe somebody on stilts inside the suit or something.
Well, no, you can tell by the shape of the body. If there were stilts, the legs would be slightly elongated in some way and things like that. Or if the head was sitting on top on the shoulders, there's always that way you can tell. But yeah, Gort's a lovely bit of work. I love Gort.
I love Gort, but there's a lot of speculation around. We see that the phrase at the end, Klaatu Barada Nikto, right?
Mm.
And there's a
Mm.
lot of speculation at the around this word. Like, is it a safe word? What does it mean? What do you think it means? Do you think it's just a safe word? Do you think it's just like a phrase?
It means Klaatu says don't destroy the world at this point, Gort.
Right.
That's what it means clearly, because they're in the taxi beforehand, and he's saying, I'm kind of scared about what Gort might do if someone shoots me if I'm killed. So if that happens, say this to him. Clearly, and she goes, what could he do? And he goes, he could destroy the world. Clearly, it means Klaatu says, don't destroy the world, Gort, and also come and get my corpse from the cell it's being held in and bring me back and resuscitate me. They have a complex language.
Yeah, very complex. Tad says, Klaatu Barada Nikto means Gort, there are cookies on the ship. Go have one. I would love if that was true, actually.
I hope that all the information is actually contained in the Klaatu Barada bit, and Nikto just means something like "you smell," and he's just jerking Gort around. That'd be quite fun. And Gort has to just take it because he's a robot.
If you were about to destroy the planet, right? Okay, say you're some kind of cyborg type.
Mm-hmm.
What would your safety phrase or word be that would calm you down? That would make you go, okay.
Oh,
it's
you
okay.
mean I'm a mad cyborg?
You're a mad cyborg.
I'm not a rational one.
Something's pissed you off. You're like, you know what? I need to destroy the planet now. So
Well,
a young
if I'm
lady's
not-
in front of you and she's going, right, I'm going to say this phrase and then this will calm you down. Like, what would the phrase be? Perspex!
Here's some wonderful perspex. Yeah, absolutely. Stop making me associate young ladies and perspex. Stop rewiring my mind, woman.
Rupert, take perspex.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. There's your phrase. Rupert, take perspex.
Perspex. However, the answer is if I was demented by that point, then no safe word would work because I wouldn't be in my right mind.
Oh, really?
So world gone in that scenario. Sorry.
Even for perspex.
Even for perspex, I wouldn't recognise the value of it. I wouldn't see it for what it was.
Even angel
Or
delight.
her. Listen. A young lady with angel delight and perspex. It ain't gonna work if I'm mad, is it? if I've got my special eye going on by this point, and I'm fuck your tank and fuck your artillery, then I'm gone, man. I'm gone. And also I'm Gort. And angel delight may not appeal to me. I'll probably take the perspex, put it in the ship with the rest of the perspex.
I like to think that there's just a room of perspex in this ship that Rupert has.
Yeah.
It's like, I bring to you a message of peace and perspex, a perspex room.
Absolutely. Yeah, good.
So, let's talk about the themes, right?
Yes,
let's go back.
For the love of God, let's do that.
Let's go back. Right, Cold War, that is very prevalent. A very prevalent theme, because we have to consider the time period of this film, which is 1951. So, in terms of how you decipher the meaning of how this combines with Cold War themes, what do you think, Rupert? You tell me.
Well, here it's more than just a theme; it's an actual plot point. Very early on, Klaatu's saying to the general guy, "Look, I want to be. I'm not just talking to your president. I want to meet every leader of the world." And he goes, "We just can't do that. The climate of the world at the moment. There's no way we're going to get everyone together." And this is where he starts getting a bit impatient and going, "Oh, your puny human squabbles." Mm-hmm. He starts giving it alien conqueror talk. Puny humans. childish or primitive. And so it actually becomes a direct thing that motivates the action. Okay, he's going to have to get out and find someone who's beyond those constraints. And I think that's quite a nice thing to say for 1951. To kind of have a character going, this is all bullshit, guys. We should calm the fuck down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And talk about rationality and sciences and working together for betterment.
Absolutely. I was reading online a very interesting thesis about this and the Cold War themes. And it was something to do with the fact that Klaatu represented every other country but the US and the Soviet Union. And so Klaatu comes down and says, hey, why are you being like this?
Of course, the two big nuclear powers then.
Yes. So
maybe only the two nuclear powers. I don't know if Britain had. I think Britain was the third, wasn't it, to get nuclear weapons?
But the Cold War is really pretty much associated with America and Russia.
The two big power blocks, yeah.
You've got like Klaatu coming down and saying, hey, and he does mention we all live in peace. It's like all of our worlds live in peace. And he's basically going, so we're peaceful, innocent nations. We shouldn't have to pay for you guys being idiots. And so I thought that was interesting when I read that. I was like, well, that's an interesting concept.
That's a very nice reading, yeah.
I was like, interesting. So basically,
I like that.
That's quite represent. And if that is in fact true, and that's exactly what they were trying to do in a roundabout way, then that's very clever and subtle. Very subtle.
It's the first time I've heard it, but it's a reading that totally makes sense, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was in some way behind the thinking. And that is very good. That's very clever. I like that a lot. Oh, that's just increased my appreciation of the film. Nice.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because after I watched it, I always do lots of research. I write down my notes of what I think I've got out of it, and things like the press and sensationalism, and fear, that kind of thing. And then I was reading, because I don't know much about the Cold War. I didn't study that in school. We studied Scottish history and like things about crofts.
I got the Corn Laws.
What laws?
The Corn Laws.
Oh yeah, we studied about farming and industrialisation.
Why do I need to know about farming? I'm not going to become a farmer. Teach me about kings and queens and big historical events, for the love of God.
Me too. I was like, why am I learning about farms?
Yeah, if I want to learn about farming and become a farmer, I'll go and learn about farming on a course specifically about farming. School was bullshit.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is the thing. I was very rebellious in school. I was nice, but I was very rebellious. And so I used to sit there and go, why are we doing this? Like I would just ask why. And I was one of those dickhead students, but it's because I just felt like there was nothing challenging. It's like, I'm learning about farming. Why am I needing to know this?
What do I need this for? Yeah.
And
Hey, I tell you what, let's see where the world's at this time next year, and see if COVID's still going on. It might be the case that we all have to band together and go and start farms. Who knows?
Oh my god, actually.
In which case, I know about crop rotation from then, so that's fine.
I've forgotten everything. Everything. And Photoshop skills are not good skills to have in the apocalypse, so I'm pretty much dead. I'm dead.
We'll look after you.
Yeah, unless the leader of the new world needs some kind of marketing. That's all my only skill.
Leaders always need marketing.
So if I try and align myself to some good guys,
there you go.
There we go. That's my only use. Or playing guitar really badly. That's another thing I can entertain.
You may have fantastic farming skills that you haven't yet tapped because you haven't had to.
Oh no, I don't like getting my hands dirty. I don't like being in the garden. I don't like nature very much. I'm very like a city person. I'm very city like. My dad used to try and encourage us to do weeding and stuff with him when I was younger, and I hated it.
Me too. I was no fan of that.
I was like, why am I doing this? Like, it's so boring. I just want to play Nintendo. I was like, I don't want to do this. But yeah, we just learned about crofts, farming. The English people coming and doing bad things to Scottish people.
I wanted some kind of you got that. We didn't get any of that side of it, oddly enough.
Yeah, we did all that. It was like, it really does make you go, wow, why did they do that to us?
I know. Hey, it wasn't me, all right.
It's like, whoa, you do grow up with a sense of like, shit, man, they were nasty bastards. Like,
I'm absolutely convinced that at core we still are.
Oh.
In terms of the ruling elites in England.
God, yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
In Blighty.
The ruling elites are like never change. They stay the same, and they're not even pretending now. Arable farming, says Moon Foundation. Yes, arable farming. Yes.
Arable farming.
Oh my god! Every time I talk to my husband
First
Paul
result
about
of
that,
it.
like he'll go, "Oh my god, don't talk to me about arable farming, please." Like both of us are like,
Sorry. 18 years together. You talked to him about arable. Every time I talk to him about arable farming, you said you talk about arable farming a lot, do you? You bring this up at moments,
our
kind of like,
nightly
hey,
conversation. Well,
Paul,
Rupert's
arable
talking.
farming, isn't that fascinating? I've got a friend who can talk about perspex to you as well.
Nikki drinks is trying to take us back to the film. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you. Yes, so
Nikki
you
says
should.
Klaatu Barada Nikto is also used in Army of Darkness Evil Dead 3 as the phrase Bruce Campbell has to say to stop the apocalypse. Of course, he forgets it, and the army of Deadites is raised. I love that. I love that. Thank you for that,
It's
Nikki. Thank you.
it's in lots of things. It's been referenced a lot, and this is, one of the key indicators of it being a very commercial, critically successful film and artistically successful film, is that they continue to have influence. Klaatu Barada Nikto, everyone's heard that at some point. Well, a lot of people have anyway. Yeah, and it gets referenced a lot in things.
Cactus Nax just said something. I have to read this out because I'm trying not to laugh. Perspex farming. There you go. There you go. Perspex
You're
farming.
talking about self-growing perspex. How do you fertilize it?
Well,
Let's not. Let's not. Um,
that you can see
that doesn't
Rupert's
happen.
got a hot night in with some Perspex people. He's gonna be. He's like, yes. He's got
You
a
and me
hot.
again, baby. You and me.
Oh my god! It's like he looked at that like, yeah, I've been doing this a lot recently. Like, whoa, whoa.
There aren't many possessions I have in this room. The rest are all in storage. I was going to go and get them several months ago, but hey, that's not been happening.
Hey, it's all right. You got your Perspex, dude. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good. I've got a replica teleport bracelet. My life is complete, man.
I love that. Sometimes I sit on stream like I'm a grown woman dancing to YMCA. It's like we're like, you know what I mean? I'm like, you're a grown
Victory.
man with a teleport bracelet with some Perspex.
Victory all round.
We win. We
Yeah,
win.
Totally,
We've won.
totally. That's winning at life. That's getting to do what you want
Right.
by this age.
Doom is trying to bring us back to the movies. Thank you, Doom. Doom says, would you guys say the movie has a message of hope or pessimism? I'm a bit split on what the final analysis of mankind is. Right. What do you think, Rupert? I'm very split on that as well. Is it hope or pessimism?
It is hope, ultimately, for me, I think. Otherwise, why would Klaatu and his lot bother?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
They must think that, we have the potential. It's very Star Trek. The Kirk's always going, oh, back in the day we were violent and bad, but we've evolved. We got to, now we don't have those problems. Now we don't have racism, et cetera, et cetera. We got past it. And you can kind of put Klaatu in the same universe of going, okay, this is where it starts. Now, it's obviously, I suppose what concerns me is the massive threat that's attached to it. It's kind of like behave or else. And the or else is genocide. We will Death Star the fuck out of your planet. Gort will do it, probably on his own, which is kind of scary.
Well,
But I think that's what it would take. And so maybe they are so advanced. They've done this a few times, and with cultures that are our sort of level, they go, you just have to be an iron fist in a velvet glove.
Libra.
Is Klaatu a Libra? I don't know.
Iron fist and a velvet glove, my friends. But
In this case, it's a kind of velvet glove in 8 foot tall iron bloke with a special eye that'll fuck your tank and fuck your artillery.
I think it's hopeful too, and I agree with Rupert's points, Doom. I actually agree with, and Doom's is a good point, and I think that's a very good point. But there's a lot of other themes here, like for example, we talked about the Cold War and things like that. The nuclear threat as well. You've got the trigger happy or trigger itchy humans. Klaatu shot twice, right?
Yeah.
He shot once and then a second time where it's a fatal shot which he has to be brought back by Gort, right? And I don't know if are we doomed are we doomed to our fate? And what do you think, Rupert? I mean, that's quite pessimistic.
That's an interesting point about being split about it. Funnily enough, maybe that's exactly how America felt at the time, and maybe the world in general, because they've survived the Second World War. That's positive, and are moving forward scientifically and culturally.
Sure.
But there's now the threat of nuclear Armageddon hanging over our heads that wasn't there before.
Sure.
I think it must have been a very confusing time. I think it was a time when we had to really start growing up a bit, and I think that process has stopped since then, where it was kind of, oh shit, we can't allow that to happen again, because if that happens again, we've got these this time, and it's not going to last for a number of years. It's going to last for a day, and we're all going to be wiped out.
But then look at 2020. So
Yeah, well, we're still here.
we're still here.
Like I say, I think the process of growing up has stalled somewhat.
Yeah, I think so. I think the information age has probably confuzzled our brains, for lack of a better word.
Well, I don't know. Like I said before, I a cynic about the human race. If I had to pick a side to be on our continued existence at the moment, I'm kind of going, yeah, probably not. After I've died, I suspect, so that's fine then. But in terms of the future, I do really quite worry about, the next 3 or 4 generations, unless there is radical change for so many factors.
I mean, Tad here says, yeah, but guys, it's okay. Trump wants to resume nuke testing. Yeah, I know, exactly, Tad. It's ridiculous. And Cactus has a question for the chat here. Please answer it, guys. You have the words Klaatu Barada Nikto to save yourself from something. What is that something? Oh, so it's not. It doesn't have to be destruction. What it could be perspex. It could be arable farming.
I think it's probably just to shoehorn a reference in. I think it's probably a Schrodinger's gerbil in a box.
Oh,
in a cave.
Yes.
That may or may not be made of perspex.
Oh, a perspex box. Oh, there you go. That's how we can get our perspex into the cave FMV. That's exactly how we can do it.
Except the trouble is that the hamster can't be a Schrodinger's hamster then, because it does rely on being unobserved.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, we're confusing the matters with it. Oh no, I like the Schrodinger's gerbil thing.
I like the Schrodinger's gerbil. We'll make the cave out of perspex. We'll make something else out of perspex.
Yeah, we'll make it. Exactly. There will be perspex, guys.
One of us will be made out of perspex.
It's fine. We'll have a perspex something.
There'll be a perspex something.
There'll be
but in terms of hope, for the future and stuff like that, again, you have to have hope, kind of like Klaatu. Otherwise, why bother?
That's true. Because actually, if we didn't have hope, even in this time, through our mental health issues, because a lot of people suffer from different mental health issues.
Of course, yeah.
Depression or anxiety, whatever else it may be. We need hope, at least an iota of hope, just to keep us going, just to see us through the day. And I think the hope is very important. It's very strong, and that's what keeps the human race going.
I know what I was going to say. Sorry, I just turned to a cloud of pixels there. Sorry, yeah, the information age you were talking about, and you were saying it's confused things. I think it has, but I think it's also now starting to come full circle, because I've said before on this very organ that we can all connect. We can all, you can find intelligent people to start talking to. You can cross-reference information an awful lot better. You're not reliant on sources being a couple of TV channels and a couple of different newspapers. You can go anywhere and you can sift and compare and be rational about about how you come to your conclusion, and get worldwide viewpoints a lot more easily.
And that in itself causes problems, although it's good, causes problems because now we live in the fake news era, that kind of stuff.
Of course, but now we're aware of it. Now everywhere. Trump, I think, did the world an enormous favour by going on about fake news, because now everyone knows that phrase, and it's a concept that's sunk into the mind, and people are going, well, hang on, fake news? Am I being lied to? And I think some people are starting to maybe check a little bit more than they did beforehand.
I hope so.
I think that kind of backfired on Trump, and that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, because he's thick as mince.
Oh my God. So we have in the chat,
and it's not even clever mince either. It's weeks old mince. It's mince that should have been put out a long time ago. The cat wouldn't even touch it.
It's like that grey mince that's gone off a bit.
It's grey mince. He's made a grey mince.
He's grey mince. Trump is grey mince. It's
grey mince. It pongs badly and it's not good. And the only thing to do, frankly, is just immolate it.
Yeah, just chuck it. Chuck it. So we've got so Cactus asked the chat. You have the words Klaatu Barada Nikto to save yourself from something. What is the something? Rye McSee says coriander. I hate coriander. I'm totally with you there. Totally with you there.
Huh?
Boomfunk says order. We've got
Order.
yeah.
Order.
We've got Tad Cooper says it would be impatience. I'm horribly impatient and I need to be saved for myself. I'm very impatient as well, Tad. So I'm hugely impatient. Ellie says existential dread. Oh no, Ellie. Spoken
Nice.
like a true Aquarian,
Nice.
Ellie.
Yeah, liking that.
Spoken like a true Aquarian, indeed.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Empathise with like a true Aquarian.
Yes,
Yeah.
a true Aquarian. Right, back to the film, because we're supposed to be talking
Hi.
about the day the Earth stood still.
Yes.
So,
We
okay.
haven't actually talked about the moment the day the Earth stands still, have we?
So we haven't actually got to the future, but yeah, let's get to. So let's get to the future bit. Let's do it. We can do it, Rupert. We can do it. We can do it.
We can.
Guys, we've got this. Right. So if a spaceship came to Earth and someone emerged, what do you think the reaction would be? Okay, they had a message and they went, okay, they didn't reach into their pockets. They just went, I have a message. Like, what do you think the reaction would be? Would we listen? Would we try and capture them?
Well, I it's so massively unpredictable. It depends where they go, who they meet. I mean, if they land in the Sahara Desert and talk to, a small tribe of people, they're not going to be met with a huge militaristic response that they get when Klaatu lands in the middle of Washington. But, undoubtedly they've been tracked, unless they're clever enough to have just cloaked and slipped in through. So I don't know what the response is. It's funny, actually, what I thought you were going to ask is, in the context of the film, what if we were living in the future where that film had happened? So in 1951, an alien came down and gave us this ultimatum. Oh. What would 2020 be like, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I think that definitely we will have shared or stolen the technology, some technology. I think.
Well, I don't think Klaatu was sticking around. I mean, he came to give us ultimatum and say, "Look, sort your shit out, or else the next time you hear from us, you're dead."
Okay.
So I don't think we've been able to.
I think that would have maybe accelerated. I think that would have accelerated our interest in space, knowing there is, because we don't know right now if there is something out there or not, right? I mean, I think there is life. I just don't think it's life like humanoid life, but I think there's life. And so I think it probably would have, if somebody had come down and we all live in peace, we, as in alluding to civilizations, we would have spent the last 50 years absolutely going hell for leather to try and get to wherever they are, probably being slightly destructive in the process, I reckon.
Well, I was going to say, but would we be living in peace? Would there be all the problems between countries and things like that we have endured? Over that time, or would we have gone? Yeah, we better just behave, hadn't we? Or else.
My instinct is to say, my hopeful self would be to say that I would hope that it would make people fall in line and work together as one unit, as one human race. But actually, I think what would actually happen, because I'm very cynical and I'm very pessimistic, is that people would have gone, right, let's try and get to space. Actually, I've got the technology. We are America. You're not having it. We're having it. We're going to go there first. And I think it would have split the world even further, and then you will look at the space race just happening anyway.
So that's interesting. So if you were in Klaatu's lot's place, would you then say in about 1965, when we've got to the moon ahead of time, but there's still been all this squabbling and war and I'm better than you and all that sort of thing. Do you think you'd send a couple of Gorts down and just go, no, well done on the rockets, well done on the moon, but you're still hurting and killing each other, so fuck New York, fuck London, fuck Moscow, and off again, and go, okay, we mean it. I think they'd have to reinforce it.
I feel like I think you'd have to treat the human race like you treat online trolls. So you tell them once, you've come down, you go, no. And then you starve them of oxygen, don't give them the attention, just let them do their thing. Because they're just going to keep doing the same shit over and over again.
Oh, but they can't. But unlike the online trolls, the human race would actually achieve something with their lives because they want to get off the Earth. What Klaatu's worried about is that we're going to get off the Earth with our nuclear power and our rockets and we're going to start bringing our violence into space. He doesn't mind about us killing each other down here. That's fine.
Maybe they don't want us to even go to space. I mean, maybe this is the thing. Maybe you don't even know that. I like the idea of all of the other civilizations on the other galaxies actually thinking the human race is properly trolling them. Look, guys, they're doing it. They're really trying to get into space. They are totally trying to troll us. And then we just get obliterated because we're like, oh well. Yeah. Our account gets deleted. They delete the trolls.
Yeah.
We delete your account.
Said the wrong thing in space Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Twitter.
But I don't know. I kind of feel that I think it would split the world anyway. That's my feeling.
I think it would factionalize the world. I mean, there'd be, say it was 1951, there'd be a lot of people who would claim him as being Jesus.
Yeah.
Particularly given the overtones of, he comes from a place down there, he dies for our sins, he comes back to life and fucks off again.
There are religious overtones or undertones in the film. With
undertones.
Is he a prophet? He's got a message. He's a prophet of peace. There's all of these things you can link it to. Kind of like I think some of the best sci-fi. Because we had this conversation earlier about belief systems, religion, and science. And I think some of the best sci-fi looks at both science and religious concepts and tries to combine them to make the best message they possibly can, the most balanced message, because we can't all be for science, believe in science. I think it's good to be spiritual as well and remember there's something a little bit more. Doesn't mean that
those are great words, he says. The whole spiritual side of it. He recognises the art and the poetry and the greatness of the human spirit as well. Absolutely. I think that's all embodied in Klaatu. He's very much, mind and heart working together in harmony.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, do you think, just generally speaking, what do you think the film tells us about the human race at that point in 1951?
That there is hope, that we've come through a lot and we've got a long way to go yet, but if we can get through that, then the rewards of being able to be as one, while still being individual and disparate, would be glorious. Space is waiting for us.
And do you think, though, that we're doomed to destruction because...
I'm doing my space stare, do you mind?
Oh, sorry, I was like, right, come back to Earth, whatever.
Okay, I'll finish now. Hi.
Another one for a new trailer. Seriously, I've got loads. There's more. There will be more trailers.
Excellent.
What do you think? Do you actually think that we are doomed to destruction, though? Will we ever listen? Because we can't even listen to each other on Earth.
Well, we can. Some of us can. I mean, this is the thing. It's easy to generalize, and I do myself a lot of the time. I'm kind of going, oh, we're fucked. But we're all just these barely evolved apes, really. But actually, no. A lot of us, a lot of people are highly intelligent, rational, don't leap to judgment with their hearts, but work towards judgment of a fellow human when they meet with experience by taking time and being rational. And there's so many people. I mean, all of my friends are like that. Mm-hmm. All the people in my life are like that. Now, that's a lot, partially because I don't talk to those kind of people in the first place. But no, I today I'm hopeful.
As you know what, I'm the cynical, pessimistic one today. You're being very hopeful, which is...
Hey, this time next week we'll change the roles over again. It'll be fine.
We'll change the roles over, yep, and I'll be the positive one.
You'll be kind of going, hey, how are things today? Well, it's miserable and we're all going to be extinct in about 5 weeks' time. How are you?
We've got CJ here. It says, we are doomed to destruction. Any civilized society that becomes dominant on a planet became dominant because they rose to the top of the food chain. The same happens to aliens. The same will happen to us. We will destroy ourselves. Interesting. What do you think about that, Rupert?
I don't understand it. I don't understand why we'll destroy ourselves because we've risen to the top of the food chain.
Because I think it's the destruction of others in the process.
Right. Yes, but we can evolve beyond that.
It's true.
And we are starting to, I think, I mean, even just in my lifetime, I've seen a huge move towards vegetarianism and veganism and all that sort of thing. And that's the start. When we get... The moment someone invents the replicator from Star Trek, then we never have to harm any other thing again. We never have to mine the Earth again. We never have to take any more from this planet. All we have to do is get to that stage and then make sure that it isn't used to disintegrate you or turn you into a blob or a cyber blob or, because that kind of transport technology is also terrifying, but is an answer. Matter to energy conversion and back.
What kind of, if I asked this on Twitter actually the other night, I got lots of different answers from transporter to replicator to sick bay to hoverboard. What gadget, what technology from sci-fi would you like to actually see? You can only choose one piece of technology.
A TARDIS.
Really?
It's the best. You get everything with a TARDIS.
A TARDIS?
A TARDIS.
So you wouldn't do a food replicator or anything like that?
Well, TARDIS has got a replicator on board for a start. It's called a food machine. It's obviously got... Look, this thing can travel in time and space. It's bigger on the inside than the outside. Don't give me any Enterprise technology. It's way beyond that. So anything the Federation's... Anything any science fiction has got, the TARDIS is going to have it. And if it hasn't, it can travel anywhere in time and space so you can go and get it. TARDIS.
We've got fellow Aquarian Ellie saying, go on.
And it's a kind of cave.
There you go. It's a kind of cave. It's a TARDIS.
It's a separate dimension of itself. It's the best cave you could have. So TARDIS, obviously. TARDIS full of perspex. Job.
We've got Ellie here, your fellow Aquarian.
Hello, Ellie.
It's not just being able to be brutal that has allowed human life to flourish. It is our ability to work together and cooperate with one another that has allowed us to get where we are. If humans were not able to work together and only wanted to hurt each other, we would never have made it out of our caves or past hunter-gatherer lifestyles.
Yeah. Thus there is hope. There must be hope.
There must be. And I think Ellie's right. In fact,
I think so.
We see more destruction in the world when we don't work together. Yes. And we see things flourish when we do. When we stop killing and when we stop driving our cars and doing all... We saw it in the lockdown. We had to all stop for a moment. Just pause for a moment.
Hey, don't use the past tense, for God's sake. Don't say we had to. Seriously. I'm not buying into any of this lifting lockdown stuff.
Oh,
I'm staying safe, thanks.
I'm still like treating everyone like they're a zombie. I'm like, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Yeah,
like, even though people, there's like groups of 5-6 people sunbathing. I'm like, nah. I'm not sunbathing. Not sunbathing.
I know. Yep.
I think that's very eloquently said, Ellie, and I think it's very
Yes,
right.
I agree. It takes an Aquarian.
It takes an Aquarian. But it takes a Libra to find that and bring it to you. Bring it to you.
It takes a Libra to harness the Aquarian, you're saying?
Oh, yes, I have to harness that crazy energy. Harness the chaos. Harness the chaos. Trivial Hirsute says, also Fiery Squirrel, I'm not knocking a TARDIS, but Squirrel says, don't knock a TARDIS. Squirrel's with you.
TARDIS, damn right.
And Nikki says it's got a swimming pool too. Does it have a swimming pool? What?
Yes, it has a swimming pool. The TARDIS is massive inside. The TARDIS is like planet size, at least inside.
Right, okay. So I'm not a big Doctor Who fan, so...
well, then, hey, when the time comes when we all get granted our tech wishes, some of us have won and some of us have come second.
Well, I'll just be on my hoverboard, just failing.
Bless your hoverboard. Bless your hoverboard. I'll take my TARDIS to go and buy you know what, I'll be able to go to my TARDIS computer and say, make me a hoverboard, and it'll just go, yeah, man, and it'll create one. So
you'll be peeking out from behind the TARDIS door, looking at me, kind of hovering along, going, loser.
I'll never come out of the TARDIS again. I'll just live in my own private universe full of hoverboards, perspex, and whatever the fuck I want. Angels alike.
Hoverboards and perspex.
Hoverboards and perspex. I know. It's really serious.
We've got Trivial Hirsute saying.
That's great.
And with the TARDIS, you can go anywhere and pick up anything. Sorted. Well, I think
you can. Actually, anyone. Imagine the dating options.
Oh, right. Okay, so this is all seeing, all know it. Like, the TARDIS is the thing then.
This is the thing, man. It's got to be the ultimate thing.
Okay. I'm with you in TARDIS. You're convincing me.
Because via the TARDIS you can get all the other things if you want them.
Right. Okay. You're convincing me.
Even if they're extinct, you want a dinosaur, you don't have to go through all the whole process of DNA from Amber and Jurassic Park and Jeff Goldblum and it going wrong and massive death. You just pull back. You pick up a Triceratops egg or whatever one you want, and you nurture it, and dinosaur.
Doom says the TARDIS is a tesseract. By folding not just time but also space, it can fit more space within space, bigger on the inside. Love it, Doom.
Yeah.
Love it. And Ellie says, I didn't know it was so big. I just thought it was the size of a house in a phone box.
No, it's vast. It's massive. It's an entire separate universe in its own dimension. Each TARDIS connected via dimension gate to the police box, which is just that's all there is on the outside. There's a dimension gate between dimensions. So that's a different universe.
Okay, can I come in? Can I enter the TARDIS with everyone else?
Yes, there's plenty of room. I mean, in all fairness, there is plenty of room in the TARDIS.
Okay, cool. So I'm allowed a space in the TARDIS. That's good.
Yeah, you can have a space in the TARDIS. Yeah,
okay, great. Okay, I've got my own little space. We can make a cave in the TARDIS, which will be amazing.
Take anything you want in the TARDIS.
Brilliant. Okay, TARDIS Tinder, says Triple Hersuit. Oh my god, TARDIS Tinder.
TARDIS Tinder. Swipe backwards or forwards in time. That'd be fantastic. Why has no one done that? That's a genius idea.
If there was a TARDIS Tinder, I'm sure the first to download the app would be Rupert. TARDIS Tinder, you see?
No, you know what? When I said swipe backwards and forwards, I was about to say to Claire, Tinder is the one with swiping, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is how little I know about that sort of thing. I'm kind of old-fashioned. But
no, I've never. I met Paul.
Go to a bar, talk to someone.
I met Paul before there were laptops, right? So I'm like happy with that. I met Paul before there was mobile phones flying around the place, like there is now. Like before smartphones and stuff. I had a Matrixy phone, and I had to convince Paul to get a phone. He's like, I don't want a phone, and I was like, get one so we can text each other. I went, why can't you call me? And I was like, because what if we
sounds exactly like me. Yeah, yes. Why do I want a mobile phone? Why do I want people to be able to contact me wherever I am? Maybe I want to go away from people if I go for a walk, or to the shop,
that's what
or
Paul
to
says,
anywhere.
Like, I don't want to be near people. I don't want people to be near me. He's like, why do I need this? And I was like, get one, please get one. And he was like, right, okay. And then that was it. And then he's on his mobile phone journey. His journey through the digital age. I brought that to him.
Well done.
I don't know if that's a curse, a blessing, or
not.
not.
I was going to say, I don't know if that's a loving thing or destructive, but hey, it's not for me to comment on your lives.
But even now, like, sometimes Paul will have, like, a scorched earth thing where he's like, right, I'm deleting everything, everything's gone, not looking at, like, and he'll just go blank. Like,
yeah, I can understand that. I have days like that. I have days where I just won't be looking at social media for ages because I've been looking at social media for ages, and it does your head in eventually.
It does. It really does.
You have to stop and get a bit of perspective.
Yes, yes. But with perspective, that's... whoa, look what I did. Ooh. With that, we're at the end of the podcast. We're at the end of the show. We're at the end.
That was quick.
That was a really rubbish segue. I'm sorry.
It was, but hey, it's time, so you have to.
I've done better. I'm sorry. I feel like I need to apologise. I've done better.
I think the day the Earth stood still did deserve a better segue. But alas, time does not stand still for. No, I'm doing it. Time does not stand still for us. Right,
I'm doing it. It's my turn. It's my turn. Okay.
Go on then. We'll get on with it.
Hey, Rupert. Guess what? Rupert? We've got to Gort.
Claire, Clatu, Barada, Nikto.
Okay.
Clatu, Barada, Nikto.
Okay. That basically just means, Claire, shut the fuck up. We've got to Gort. I'm bringing it to you from the 50s.
I still say that time does not stand still for us.
Okay, and I say we got to Gort, guys.
Yeah. So there you go. Maybe vote for which one you like better.
Oh, I like that. We'll do a poll after this.
Let's have a poll. How do I get to see the results of this poll? It's on Twitter.
So, okay, what was yours then?
Mine was, but time, I'm changing it slightly but the day does not stand still for us.
Okay, and my segue is...
And I'm looking out of the window mysteriously when I'm doing it, remember. I'm giving it some performance.
Okay, that's fine. So the time does not stand still for us. Mine is, guys, guess what time it is? We got a Gort. Hey, I'm selling it.
I don't need to sell it. I'm just gazing out of the window at the mystery of space. Mystery of space sells it for me, for it is infinite.
See, if only you could see the screen right now. I was hey.
This is totally why you do the marketing and I don't. I do the space gating.
Guys, I'm telling you, I got a Gort. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. Like, forget.
Do you want your day to stand still? If not, vote for me.
Oh.
Or it's Scott Renge.
Oh. Right. Okay. No more selling it. No more selling it. No more selling it. You're not allowed the upper hand here.
Got perspex.
He does have perspex. That's right, guys. We do have to Gort.
Yes.
So see. It works.
Oh, I thought you said no more selling it.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I mean, sorry. We do have to Gort. Anyway. So, guys, that was the day the Earth stood still, which is sort of absolutely brilliant, an absolutely brilliant film. And if you've not seen it, then please go watch it because it is absolutely fantastic.
It really is one of the good ones, yeah.
Absolutely. Doom here says, Doom, you could be one of my favourite listeners. Doom says, I gotta say, this is turning into one of my favourite shows on the internet. Thank you. That's
Oh.
so nice.
Hey, I want to say thank you to all of you, including Claire, for having me on this and coming to listen every week and putting up with this nonsense for a start.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, genuinely
Thank
enjoying it.
It's brilliant, and we're going to keep going because next
Damn
week
right we are.
we are back again next week, and we're going to be
Yeah.
talking about Verhoeven classic Total Recall.
Oh, what was the thing? I thought about Arnie earlier. Hang on a sec. Just who was the director of this? Oh yeah, the producer Julian Blaustein. It was.
Julian
And
Mao.
Blaustein. And when the titles came up, when I watched the film earlier on to myself, I thought that sounds like something Arnie would say if he was pissed off. Blaustein. You know. So yeah, that's destroyed part of the film for me. It's now, as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of produced by an Arnold Schwarzenegger swear phrase. Blaustein. Oh.
Okay, so next week we are going to.
Oh, you know what it's going to be like next week, and it's going to be just constant. It's all just these noises like choir boy. And
2
stuff.
weeks.
Yeah.
So guys, in 1 week we're going to be speaking about Total Recall, and I'm sure you guys don't need to watch that in advance, like seriously.
Because it will be 1 week, because time does not stand still for us.
But having said that, we gotta guard. We gotta guard, you guys. Guys, please, I'm WeClaire on Twitter if you want to chat to me more about sci-fi and things, or WeClaire here on Instagram. Rupert, where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter, where I am Rupert Booth.
Please go chat to Rupert Booth. Now, Rupert, can you tell us more about this FMV before we go?
A little tiny bit. It's called Dark Code, for a start. And there's already little splatterings on Twitter. Nothing much yet, because, you know, we're kind of coming up with this on the fly. It's a very fast-moving project. Mm-hmm. It's quite experimental in terms of what we're planning to do. Like I say, we may not pull it off, but we're going to try. Because we were going to be making FMVs this year for everyone, and frankly, because we enjoy doing them. And then, of course, we're not, are we? Because 2020 happened. So this was my friend Craig, who was going to be directing the thing that I'd planned for this year. It was his idea. He said to me, "Can we make an FMV in 4 or 5 weeks on phones, do you think?" And when he told me how we could do it, I went, "Oh, I think maybe we can." So
there you go, guys. Exclusive.
Yeah,
news.
It's and like I said, I'm going to have a meeting directly after this, where we're talking about it and nailing things down, and then, you know, if we're all good with the script, which we're not far off with, then we're going to get into production. So we'll be starting to talk about it and putting little hints and clues and things out, and then I'm not going to say how long it's going to take, but this isn't going to be months down the line when it comes out. This is going to be, you know, a matter of some weeks.
Yes, but
and it goes live.
If you want the latest news, you need to follow Rupert Booth on Twitter. Do follow him on Twitter, because he will have all the news. As the weeks go on and Rupert can tell you more, he will absolutely put it on Twitter. So please follow him.
If I can. I mean, there's some stuff, obviously I have to keep storyline stuff back, but I suspect my character in it will start making an appearance on Twitter. I'll be starting to post as him.
Whoa.
And things like that, you know.
Exciting, guys. Get Rupert Booth followed right now. Rupert, it's been lovely. I can't wait to talk about Total Recall next week.
I can't wait either.
Oh my God.
I can't wait to watch it again.
Yes, me too. I mean, I watch it like at least 5 or 6 times every year, but I'm going to watch it again. Like, I
haven't watched it 4 or 5 years, I think, is the last time I saw it. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
I watch it all the time. All the time. All the time. Guys, this was Sci-Futures. I am WeClaire, and that was Rupert Booth. We will see you again next week. We gotta go.
Absolutely. Because time does not stand still for us.
Gotta go. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.